Well, hello everyone. How are you guys doing tonight? Good? Oh, let's try it again. I get excited about justice, so let's try this again. How are you guys doing tonight? All right. Well, hello. My name is Katelyn Curran. I am with the Church Mobilization Team at International Justice Mission. And I love the vision of tonight, and I just want to honor you, David, for putting this together. My life verse is Proverbs 31, the open your mouth. And so my aim tonight is not to break your hearts, but to break our silence as we engage justice together. Just by a show of hands, how many of you guys are familiar with IJM? Ooh, oh, wow. Okay, that's wonderful. For those of you who are unfamiliar with IJM, we are a global organization that works in 23 different countries to combat slavery, trafficking, and violence against those in poverty. But how did I get started in this? Sometimes it's easy to kind of overlook the why. And just by a show of hands, how many of you guys have ever been a part of kids ministry, youth mentoring? I know Young Life is here. Okay, so that's my story. I was involved in youth ministries for over 12 years, and these are my girls. Okay, technically not their mom, but I felt like their mom. And specifically, they were between the ages of 10 and 13. And they would come to me to tell me about their crushes, about their dreams, about their upcoming science test. We were doing life together. And honestly, when I found out that the average age of a trafficked girl is between 10 and 12 years old, it was that one fact that caused me to act. And I think of my girls when I hear stories like Griselda. Griselda was 13 years old, walking home from church one Sunday with her mom, when a van pulled up alongside of them, snatched her from the sidewalks, and threw her in the back seat. She then, at gunpoint, heard three men argue who would be the first to violate her. After experiencing this sexual trauma, she never felt like she could leave the house. She was afraid to walk to school, afraid to walk to church, afraid to even exist in her own community because she knew that the people who attacked her was still out there. Her family wanted justice, but they were too poor to be able to afford a lawyer, and that's when IJM stepped in. Not only did we provide legal assistance, but we sent a team of social workers to be able to walk alongside of her in her healing. And what I love is this next picture. It's her with her social worker, and you see the love between them. And the person who received healing now has a dream to be a healer. She's in school to actually be a social worker right now, so she could provide the same aid that helped her process her own trauma. But the other part of this story is that in a country that was so broken, where people said, IJM, don't even bother going, you can't change the justice system, it's too broken. But who here knows that nothing's too broken for Jesus? And so we went there, and in a country where 94% of cases never reach a verdict, which means justice never comes for those, not one, not two, but all three of those who attacked her were brought to justice. But when I reflect on Griselda's story, I think to myself, it's wonderful to hear justice at the end of a story. But imagine if justice is at the beginning of a story. Imagine if she experienced justice from the beginning, where she was protected from the get-go, when the crime never happened. The reality of it is there's 40 million people who are enslaved in the world globally right now, and there's over 570 million women who experience gender-based violence. And these statistics can be paralyzing, let's be real. They can seem so big, it's hard to even fathom what that looks like or what that means. And so often we focus on fighting human trafficking, but tonight I want to invite us into an even deeper calling of how do we end it? How do we not just focus on rescue and restoration, which is so key, but how do we actually look at the root causes and be able to solve it at that level? And that's what IJM is tackling right now with partners around the world. And here's a brief video to show you how.
We have operations all over the world, rescuing people from slavery. Because today there are criminals who abuse children, sell girls,
How old is she? 12. 30.
and force families into slavery. Criminals prey on the easiest target, the world's poor, because they expect no one to defend them.
Pareho po tayo mga tao. Hindi po tayo ibang bagay or hayop na pwedeng gamitin lang sa pansarili.
But today, there are thousands of people gathering to seek justice for those in slavery. We are a group of lawyers, counselors, activists, and supporters. We are called International Justice Mission. And together, we form the largest international anti-slavery organization in the world. But slavery won't come to an end until criminals know they can't get away with it. So we partner with local police to arrest and prosecute criminals. This sends a message to slave owners. We will not go away. We stay with the survivors until they are healed, until they are free.
Natulungan po ako ng IJM sa pamamagitan po na sa case ko, sa pagtulong po nila na ma-overcome ko po yung fear.
Each year, we rescue thousands of slaves and protect millions around the world. We are transforming how justice systems protect their citizens. To those who are still enslaved, we promise to find you. We will get you home to your families so you can have the freedom you deserve.
Like to invite people to take a deep breath after that. Like I said before, sometimes we see the magnitude of a problem, and I just want to invite you to realize that we serve a bigger God, and He's already has a rescue plan in place. And that's His church. It's us. And so whatever big or small action you can take today, it's going to make a difference. Sincerely, it will make a difference. And so how can you make an impact? I always like to say you can stand in the gap, give, advocacy, and prayer. So there's prayer cards in the back. You can sign up. You'll get urgent prayer requests. For instance, if we have an upcoming rescue operations, you can literally cover us in prayer. We have ways for your church to get involved. We can send an IJM speaker to your church. And then also we have Race to Rescue coming up this June, which is essentially you can put together a team to be able to fundraise the cost of a rescue operation. So incredible story. Some high school kids got together and raised $17,000, which is just phenomenal. So it's incredible to see how it's already at play. But you can even retrofit Ultimate Frisbee fundraiser into this. So if you're curious about how that would work, let me know and I'd be happy to share that with you. But the number one way, often the first step that people can come alongside of our mission is by becoming a part of the Freedom Partner community. These are people who say, we recognize that justice is a journey and we want to walk alongside of you, not once, not twice, but saying, I'm going to keep showing up for the most vulnerable month after month until we see full transformation. And what's exciting about tonight is we actually have a match going on right now. So whatever you put down for your first month gift is automatically doubled. So you have a double the impact moment right now. Most people come in about $50 for Freedom Partner, but you actually get to set whatever makes sense between you and the Lord that you're able to do. But if it was at that amount and 10 people come forward tonight, that's the cost of an entire rescue operation just from this community. So No pressure whatsoever, but if this is something you want to come alongside, we would be extremely grateful. So thank you all. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at churches@ijm.org, and I'll also be around tonight as well.
Thank you, Katelyn. So I think something that I forgot to mention a couple minutes ago is that after each one of the organizations come and speak, we want to invite people to ask questions from the audience. We want to invite people if they need to go to the bathroom, to be able to go to the bathroom, to be able to kind of talk about it. But maybe, I don't know, have a couple minutes in between the different organizations, just so it doesn't feel like we're speaking at you, but we're kind of making this more of a conversation tonight. Does that work? Cool. Any questions? I'm kind of putting you guys on the spot there. Kenny.
Okay. I don't need that.
Kenny doesn't need a mic.
So I know you're international justice mission. Do you have things happening in the United States?
That's a great question. We exclusively work because our model is to really strengthen justice systems that provide like minimal if no protection for their citizens. So we're exclusively global at this time. But if you are interested in getting more involved domestically, come talk to me and I'd be happy to point you to some more domestically focused human trafficking.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's a great question. I want to put you on the spot. If you guys flinch, I'll get excited and I'll be like, oh, that means you want to ask me a question. What countries are the most focused? Okay, so that's a great question as well. We're in 23 different countries in different hubs. So, and then each one we have a different casework. So for instance, in Ghana, with the young boys on Lake Volta, we work in Ghana on labor trafficking. We work in India also on sex and labor trafficking. We work in Latin America, Guatemala area, specifically on violence against women and children. In the Dominican Republic, we work on stopping child trafficking. Had like a groundbreaking moment when we got that passed into law this year, so just really exciting what God is doing. So yeah, all over. And what's incredible is our vision is by 2030 to actually rescue 2 million and to protect 500 million by 2030. And we actually have a roadmap of the different areas we'll need to engage to be able to do that. So we'll be expanding our reach, creating an Andean hub, working in Eastern Europe and in places that we're currently not located right now.
Those are good questions, guys.
They're great questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Katelyn. Give it up to Katelyn.